Want a battery that charges in minutes, survives tens of thousands of cycles, and laughs at cold weather? Meet LTO, but there's a catch. Today we are digging into lithium-titanate or LTO batteries and what they actually mean for electric cars. I'll explain their real strengths, insane cycle life, blistering charge rates, rock-solid cold performance, and the trade-offs, which are lower energy density and tighter costs. I'll give you a practical sweet spot for daily commuting, how to use LTO's strengths for fast, low-stress charging with numbers you can use tonight to plan charging and protect your battery. Stick with me, by the end you will know whether LTO belongs in your next EV or in a bus, or train or delivery truck. Hello everyone, I'm Shayan, an engineer specialized in electric vehicle development. What is LTO in plain words? Lithium titanate or LTO swaps the usual graphite anode for titanium oxide surface. That means that simple change makes the anode much harder to damage when lithium moves in and out during charging. The result is a cell that accepts very high current, resists lithium plating, handles extreme temperature swings, and lasts a very long time before it wears out. It's not magic, it's chemistry that trades energy density for toughness and speed. The headline numbers you need to know. Cycle life. Modern LTO cells are measured in tens of thousands of cycles. Toshiba's SCIB example quotes 20,000 to 40,000 cycles for certain cells under strenuous test conditions. That's orders of magnitude above typical lithium-ion chemistry. Charge speeds. LTO accepts very high C rates. Small LTO cells have been demonstrated charging to 80% in minutes. Some lab cells report 0 to 80% in under 10 minutes for larger test cells, and tiny production cells in seconds to minutes under test specs. Real pack charge time depends on pack design thermal limits, but the chemistry itself is built for speed. Energy density. LTO packs have lower gravimetric energy, often in the range of 60 to 110 watt-hour per kilogram depending on cell design and packaging, versus 150 to 260 watt-hour per kilogram for many NMC or NCA packs. That means less range for a given weight or larger pack size for the same range. Temperature tolerance and safety. LTO works well in very cold and very hot environments and is much less prone to dangerous thermal runaway than many high-energy cells. That's why transit agencies and specialty vehicles consider it seriously. Where does LTO shine? Because LTO is fast and long-lived, it's great where frequent fast cycles and reliability matter. Buses and urban fleets that charge many times a day need a long calendar life. Trains and rail applications for regenerative braking, capture, and quick discharges. Micromobility and delivery vehicles that can trade range for durability can use this as well. Toshiba's SCIB cells have been used in niche EVs, motorcycles, and even trains where ultra-fast charging and long life matters more than maximum range. LTO's biggest problem for mainstream passenger cars is size and cost. To match the range of modern NMC pack, an LTO pack needs more cells, and that adds weight and expense. LTO cells are currently more expensive per kilowatt-hour than LFP or NMC, so car makers must decide whether the trade-offs make sense for their market. For high-duty fleets, the math often works. For private buyers chasing max range per dollar, it often doesn't, at least not yet. What the sweet spot means for you. If your daily driving is short, predictable, and you value reliability and charging speed over absolute range, LTO can be a perfect match. The sweet spot strategy is use short, periodic, fast top-ups rather than deep discharges and long, slow fills. LTO loves many shallow, quick cycles. Keep the usual pack window in a conservative band. For most chemistry, that's typically between 20 to 80%. But LTO tolerates higher state of charge and faster shallow charging better than graphite anodes. Take advantage of overnight level 2 when cost or convenience allows, but don't be afraid to use the ultra-fast sessions for quick turnarounds because LTO handles them very well. Here are some concrete numbers and examples you can use tonight. Typical daily commute energy is assume 10 to 15 kilowatt hours per day for a 30 to 50 mile commute. Level 2 adds about 7 kWh per hour in ideal conditions. 2 hours overnight gives 14 kWh, enough for most commutes. LTO owners can use level 2 for cost and convenience and use fast charges only when needed. Fast charging advantage. Because LTO chemistry accepts high current, you can add daily 10 to 15 kWh in minutes on a high power charger if the pack and station supports it. But the real limit is the pack design and thermal management, not the chemistry alone. In real deployments, systems using LTO have shown 0 to 80% times measured in minutes for pack prototypes and small cells. Toshiba's published SCIB specs emphasize extremely fast charge capability and very long cycle life for specific cell. While this strategy protects your battery and wallet, frequent shallow top-ups minimize depth of discharge stress. LTO tolerates it well, but every battery benefits from staying in moderate state of charge windows. Using level 2 for most days means your onboard charger and pack stays cool and stable. Use high power charging only when needed. LTO can take it repeatedly, but pack engineering and chargers must support repeated fast chargers. If you run a fleet or business, LTO long life reduces replacement costs over the years, potentially making the higher upfront price pay off across thousands of cycles. Here's the takeaway. LTO is not the answer to every EV problem, but it solves some very expensive ones. If you need an EV that charges nearly instantly, survives brutal duty cycles, and works in harsh climates, LTO is an elegant choice, especially for buses, taxis, delivery fleets, or specialized vehicles. For private drivers who want maximum range for lowest cost, LTO currently has trade-offs that make the mainstream adoption limited, but that could change if manufacturing scales and costs fall. Toshiba and others are already pushing technology forward, and we are seeing real-world LTO deployments in transit and industrial use that prove the chemistry at scale. To wrap up the practical view, LTO gives unbelievable cycle lives, tens of thousands of cycles, ultra-fast charge capability, and excellent safety and cold weather behavior. The trade-offs are lower energy density, so more weight or less range, and higher cost per kilowatt hour today. The sweet spot for daily use is rely on moderate level 2 charging for most days, 7.2 kilowatt home charger at 7 kilowatt hour per hour, and reserve ultra fast top-ups for quick turnarounds. LTO packs handle that pattern far better than most lithium chemistries. If you run a fleet, deliver in the city, or want a worry-free battery for harsh climates, LTO deserves serious consideration here. For most private EV buyers today, its trade-offs are incredible durability and speed versus range and cost. Watch how manufacturers and suppliers bring costs down. The balance could shift fast.